Everyone, today it's Exciting Videos, and today we're going to be identifying random app crashes on the Sony XA2 using ChatGPT and the system Logcat, the Android Logcat. So, this phone hasn't kernel panicked yet, but the apps are crashing on it. At random times, the system UI will crash and reboot. Well, the system UI part. Here is it in effect right now. Surprisingly, it's not doing it now. But yeah, throughout the video... Oh, there we go, it's done it now. So yeah, just random crashes like that. Right here is one of the crash logs to Google Play services. So here's the system you're on. As anyways, let's watch the video. Let's watch the full thing happen. Starting right now. And we've got a Google Keep Stopping. This is the kernel log, and this is the Android Logcat. Now look, we got Google Play services keeps crashing now. Oh, seems like the system UI is gone. On the Logcat it says, process died, undelivered transaction. It's not good. So yeah, here it is. We have got an F, which is reported terrible failure, WTF. And it has got a fault address of 0x28. I found the same log right here. So now let's copy this and take it to ChatGPT. Let's submit. This character indicates a segmentation fault. This because the Android was doing optimization of involving loops and conversations. Lighting deduction analysis. This is a low level internal. Trying to compile a null pointer. Okay. Bugging art on Android 9. If you're using Android 9 with the 12, there has been several changes related to in order on our invitations. Interesting. This could be specific of the Sony's firmware version. And that could generate a specific instruction pattern. Well, my other Sony phones aren't having this problem. This is now the Google Play Store errors. So now let's copy this and see what ChatGPT says. Now you're seeing a second crash. So it's a just-in-time thread pool. So it's all about null pointers. Broken system, I highly doubt that's the case. Yeah, that doesn't work. That also doesn't work. Doesn't work. Phone's already up to date. Yeah, those don't work. So it's just about just in time and all that stuff. It's just saying null pointers. It could be a device visit art bug or corrupted malformed DEX code. I highly doubt it's any of this. Okay, the RAM has now crashed. It seems like the system UI has crashed. So now let's go to the Logcat and see what it says. So here is the system UI crash log. I am now going to copy this to ChatGPT and see what it says. So it's pointing to null pointers. The art runtime on your device is unstable. This suggests a steep system level insert. Okay. Broken art. Storage corruption. this is not it, because this has actually happened before I had Magisk installed. So this is irrelevant. This is irrelevant. So it's probably just stuff in the NAND and the RAM. Even though it's saying it's null pointers and just like casual cache or data corruptions, I've actually wiped these several times and it still hasn't fixed it. Firmware level bug. This firmware is known to be dated and you may be hitting an unknown artwork that wasn't patched. This is mostly likely root causes. Now, I'm going to ask ChatGPT this. Boom, here it is. Bad RAM or NAND internal serving can actually cause this kind of crashing. In the log suggestion might be considered a factor. There we go. Now ChatGPT saying bad RAM file memory causes the memory corruption, especially damages allocated in memory casually. This is it. Similar RAM addresses. There it is. RAM addresses is extra. It was failure across some related apps that share nothing but RAM. Boots, freeze, boot loops. Yep, I have them. Yep, UI's freeze several times on this phone actually. Boot loops have the updates of crashes. Yep, with Lineage OS, that has happened. Bus error. Seg fault. I've had that before. Unsuspected signal. Not had bus error or checks some mismatch or file system corruption. Hard test for hardware issues. Rooted. Oh yeah, there's that. That's how to pull all the kernel logs. That's why I've rooted this device so I could pull all the kernel logs and see what's happening. Based on random synergism, modern components crashing, involved with libart and system I. You may be in fact dealing with hardware failure, especially random NAND degradation. This factory reset doesn't help. That's happened. I've tried them. That doesn't work. This one doesn't work. I tried that as well with Lineage and stock. Hardware failure is lately. So that proves it. The RAM is also failing on the device. I'm going to ask it, does it happen due to power management chip failure? So let's see what is. Yes, a power management chip can cause these types of crashes. Even though it's less common than RAM and others. This is what I said. So yeah, if they're undervolting the RAM or CPU, intermittent resets or lockups, that's the case with the system UI. Data corruption. Yep, the data has got corrupted lately. Crashes under load during the there it is during JDT compilation. So yeah. JDT ingressions voltage drop to RAM instruction of corruption. CPU spikes. Random reboots, that's happened. But I highly doubt it's that yet, and that's unconfirmed. But boot looping after a software after update. Yep, that's happened due to Lineage updating and then it just crashed, so I have to reflash Lineage several times. Crashes in libart compiler, yeah, that's probably a case as well with Google Apps. This is indicate with heat or heavy use. Does the phone get hot and cold randomly? The phone is actually quite cold, it's not actually warm at all. I can't even check because the app doesn't want to open properly and it's crashing the system UI again. So unfortunately, I don't fully know. But I do have a feeling this phone is going to kernel panic soon. So this is the temperature of the CPU. 35. Just all normal. Battery's normal. I don't trust PM firm 0. That's bugged. It says 99 degrees Celsius, but it's not. If it was, this phone will be untouchable. So that wraps it up. So this is it right here. It can happen due to RAM failure and PMIC failure. Note, I am going to put this at the end of the video. I have just made a YouTube short. Here is the crash log. I unfortunately didn't show it in the YouTube short. So yeah, fault address. I have never seen these codes before. This is new. Usually it has like a few numbers at the back. Here's what ChatGPT said, by the way, after I told it my phone had RAM and PMIC failure. So this is what it says. RAM corruption, that's true. The RAM has corrupted the system before when it was on Lineage. Possibly due to RAM instability. I have a feeling that's the case. That's the case. Crash addresses are constant. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, suggested corruption, probably RAM corruptions. Liver compiler failure. True. Very likely. I have a feeling it is as well. Yeah, and I agree with all of this as well. Crashes and because the CPU load app. Yep, that's true. I usually load apps and heavy games, and that volume shade app that has that colourful cube, that has struggled to load, so that's the case. Battery level fluences or phone shuts down. That's actually not the case. The phone has never shut down around that percentage, ever. Phone boots after warming up. No, that hasn't happened. Crashes are random, but always in JGP. Yep. Yeah, that's definitely it. You see reboots and charging logos too. Yep. I think I've had reboots and charging logos constantly. Crashes stop when devices plugged into USB. No, that's actually not the case. Crashes haven't actually stopped when I plugged it into USB, because it was actually showing crashes while it's actually plugged into my computer. So here is the next step. If you diagnose, so this is a log here. I never even knew this existed. I'm going to try it. So this is the voltage right now. 3767324. It's quite funny how launching an app is now crashing system UI. This is the current. 3.7. That's normal, actually. That voltage is quite normal. 3.7 volts is normal voltage from a battery. So let's say stress NJVM to vote 1 to time at 60 seconds. I'm actually going to try that. Oh wait, it doesn't. It's not stored. Never mind, I can't do that. Yes, the phone is a few years old. It's from 2018, this phone. But I've got a phone from 2016. This has no problems. There we go. Sony phone's from 2017. And it has no problems. Despite it being 7 years old, I highly doubt age of the phone is the case. Because I've got phones that are like really old. Like my iPhone 4. And it has no problems. So that now wraps up the end of the video. I'm just going to... Null pointer. Yeah. Both showed faults at 08 trying to defend D08. Okay, that's a different logcat, but you get what I mean. It is like a number. Low memory error, blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. Reboot and wiping doesn't help. Yeah, that's true. So I'm going to end it here now before I get distracted. So as anyways, thanks for watching and subscribe.